Good morning, this is Tim. Today we're going to go ahead and we're going to smoke a beef brisket. I've done this once or twice. It's pretty simple. The meat is really fatty. I mean, if you're looking out for your cholesterol, stuff like that, this really isn't for you. It's incredibly fatty, but it's really good. I'm going to cut some of the fat off and stuff. And here's what we're going to do. And the brisket's it's about 4.5 pounds. It's really big. I'm gonna have to cut part of the smaller end of it off the tips because it's just too big to fit on my grate. So we'll go ahead and do 2 of them. And let me go ahead and cut it open and clean it up, and then we'll go ahead and cut a bunch of fat off of it because we just don't need all that. Alright, I've rinsed it real good. I'm looking at it. This is probably not one that I'd ever buy. This one was give to me. And if you look at it, this is the underside. This is where all the meat is and stuff. It's got all this fat right here. This is the underside. I'm going to cut all of it off. And this one is extremely fatty. Look at all this. They tell you to leave some of it on there, or a good portion of it, because it keeps your meat moist and gives it flavor. I believe that, but this is that's just too much of a cat for me. I'm going to go ahead and cut a good bit of that off, and I'll show you what is left of it after I cut it and stuff. Like I say, it's just a bit much for me. I was wrong. This thing's not as fatty as what I thought. I mean, it's a lot that I cut off, but you still need fat on it. Like I say, I kind of cleaned it up, and again, I thought it was going to be, the cap on it was going to be really thick, but it's not. I cut quite a bit off of the actual meat side. As you'll see, this runs really deep. I mean, I try to cut the majority of it off. I know this is going to be facing down on the grill. Your fat side is always up, but I mean, you still need a bunch on there just to keep it moist, blah blah, so they say. And I'm going to go ahead and it's not going to fit on the grill, so I'm probably going to cut it right about here. And you're really not supposed to. I really don't care, but and all I'm going to do is salt and pepper it and put some garlic powder on it, and maybe a little bit of chili powder, just a little bit, see what it does. But you won't want to put a whole lot on there. This is beef. I mean, it's not pork, you know, put it to it. But the beef, you want to taste the beef. And I think if you put all this rub on it or let it sit there and soak, it kind of takes away from, it's like a steak. Why in the hell would you put all that stuff on a steak? If it's a good steak, you don't need it. But let me go ahead and get all that, and I'm going to get it set up on the racks, put it in the smoker, and I'll show you that. Alright, I got them on the rack, and fat side up. It's kind of like doing a Boston butt. You always want to put the fat side up so everything drips down and kind of gets out of the way, and it keeps the underside moist. That's kind of where all the meat's all up in there, but it'll cook down some. But like I say, this is really a it's greasy. To me, it's more greasier than a pork butt. But all I did was salt and pepper it and put garlic powder on. I opted not to go ahead and put the chili powder on. I'm not sure, and but I know this is going to be good just this way. And I had to cut it again because it's way too big, as you can see, to fit on my smoker rack. So the next step is I'm going to have to light my smoker off. It's a gas smoker, water pan, all that other stuff you put on it, and the temperature I want to put it at is about 250 degrees, or just a little bit less. And it's going to smoke. This is big now. This is gonna cook, smoke for at least 8 hours. So about 7 hours, I'm going to go ahead and start sticking it with the thermometer to check it. And you want it to be right at 200 degrees. And 195 or less, it's going to be tough. If you cook it over 205 degrees, it's going to be tough. So you hit it right around 200, you pull it off, and then I've had great success. Like I said, I've done this to be my 3rd time doing it. And it's just going to be good. And let me go light the smoker and stuff off. Alright, this is a smoker that I use. I got it from Walmart. Bought it online because we quit carrying it around here. And it's a Smoky Mountain series, great outdoors. It's the bigger one. I think it cost me about $150. It comes with 3 racks. It's gas. Ooh, didn't mean to do that. There's a brisket in there. Like I said, you got fire underneath. Right above it, it's going to be your smoke box, which I used hickory today because it's beef, and of course the water pan. Like I said, we're going to let it go about 7-8 hours, and then we'll check it. It might have to go a little longer than that. Alright, here's the end result. Took a lot longer than I anticipated. Like I said, it was a big piece of meat. The small piece is like got a little jerky underneath it, a little bit long, but it's really tender and good. The other one's got still got a lot of moisture, a lot of fat in it and stuff. And we got some rice. We got some green bean, and we're doing some frogmore stew. And hopefully this is good for y'all.